Good evening and welcome to Barber's Arms here on the 7th of May 2021. We've got a great show tonight. We've got the big celebrities in the house tonight. Who's. Wait till you see all these guys cut. It's absolutely unbelievable. Can't wait. Episode 53 here. Coming up, me and Gaz are going to go through the news bits, and then we've got the BarberEVO news desk around about 8:10 tonight. Listening to Andrew Brewster and David Foster, see what's happening around the globe on the BarberEVO news desk. Coming up then, we've got first guest tonight from Philadelphia, from Rocky. I hope he's done the steps. Kenny Duncan's going to be joining us in Barber's Arms, celebrity barber and international educator is going to be joining us. Around about 8:50, we've got Gaz's cocktail coming up. His 53rd cocktail tonight, and I saw it earlier today. And Gaz, you saw my comments tonight. It's a strong one tonight, Gary. And I'm really looking forward to how you do it in one and how you perform afterwards. Because afterwards, around about just a minute after that cocktail, we've got Ahmed, who is the ASTAR barber, the England barber, the Premier League footballers, hairdresser, barber, is in the house here tonight on Barber's Arms. It's a big one, in conjunction with Wahl UK and the British Barbers Association. Without further ado, please welcome my co-host, the one and only Mr. Gary Machin.
Well, thank you, Mr. Simon Shaw. I've had a great weekend. We are live again, week 53. We've made it into our second year. Can you believe it? All started off to represent and help the barbering industry, and we've ended up on a Friday night show all the way through. So week 53, year 2. 126,000 views from last week. We thank you, our loyal and great customers, guests, all watching the show all the way through. Last week, Ivan Zoot, fantastic guest. Kev Vorley, another fantastic guest. We salute you. Thank you very much. You made the show. Just a couple of quick ones today from our, we have a little alternative news desk. 2015 Cosmopolitan Day. We are having a Cosmopolitan show. We have got America and we've got England on the show today with a little bit extra. 9th of May, coming up in this week, Nelson Mandela's inauguration. So we are, celebrating that. Salvador Dali's birthday, 11th as well, great artist. And it's Limerick Day, a little bit of fun. Limerick Day on the 12th of this week, so in Ireland. So we've got a lot of friends over there in Northern Ireland and in Ireland, and I'm sure we're celebrating that as well. So, Mr. Simon Shaw, you've had a busy day. Cheers.
It's not so much a busy day today, busy week. It's great to be back 3 days a week at minute travelling, and the other 2 days it makes your Zoom calls and your meetings on Teams and things a little bit more interesting. I've got to say, you look fantastic. You look a bit like Phyllis off Coronation Street with your purple dye on your hair tonight. Looks fucking amazing, that, to be fair, Gaz. I'm going to have to start growing my hair and try and get some colour through my beard and stuff like that. Honestly, it must be the lights.
All as I can say is it must be the lighting, and you can suck my fat one.
Guys, before we start tonight, we've got a great show coming up. As I said, we've got Kenny Duncan joining us from Philadelphia, and we've also got Ahmed, A-Star barber, who's got his own product range, but he's the Uzu. He cuts some of the most amazing England footballers, Premier League footballers, global football stars. And I'm really looking forward to speaking to Ahmed tonight, see where he started and how he's done it, and find a little bit about who's got big egos, who's his favourite footballers he cuts, who does he rate. So we're going to talk all about that tonight. It's going to be amazing tonight. Before we start, though, don't forget to follow us on our Instagram accounts, which is Simon Shaw Wahl. Gaz is the British barber, and also Barbers_arms, our Instagram accounts. On our website, it is the barbersarms.co.uk. And if you want to email us, you can email us for anything that you want to do, which is at barbersarms@the British Barbers. Now, here you're going to come up on your screens, you're going to see our expo, which has exploded in the last 2 weeks. This is going to be on the 6th of June, running for 2 weeks. Just look, if you're seeing on your screen now, you can register now on the expo, but we've got some of the biggest names in the industry. Thank you to the fellowship, Ken Picton, who has worked behind this, and Barry Stevens, who have got involved in this. But they're going to put out the big guns here on the expo for the education side, which is amazing. We've got Robbie Eaton there from the Fellowship. You've got Sam Campagna, you've got Gary Machin, you've got myself, you've got Jack Ludlow, you've got Killian Madison, the Barber of the Year. Just to name a few. Paul Simmons from Mataki. You know, we've got loads of people to add to there. The list is showing up on your screens right now as you're watching at home. But already there's about 15 presenters there, and that's going to grow up to about 25, 30 presenters over the 2-week period from the 6th of June. It's now time to register for the BarberEVO Expo. Guys, I can't wait for that one. It's going to be an amazing. We're all building up at Wahl for that. We can't wait. We've booked our videographers and our light and sound guys. You know, we're really looking forward to this. A lot of people in the industry are saying to me, look, it's been really busy. The first 2 weeks we did so much money that it's probably carried us over April. This last 2 weeks it's started to get a bit quiet, but it's all good in the hood, and everybody's looking forward to the expo.
Well, I mean, the expo is something different that probably nobody's ever seen before. I know it's quite hard for people to visualize, but you can now register. Get registered. I know a lot of you have registered already when we've done our previous education events. So get registered on there. The interactive rooms. We've not only got our great brands, as Simon said, and educators on the main stage, but you can actually chat and interact with all the brands and all the educators at the same time. So it's going to be something that you've never seen before. Hopefully it's going to be a great success, and we're going to carry on and do these sort of events all through the year. But I will say one thing, you know, you've got to be in it to win it, because until we actually get this live, until we actually get it on board, everybody's kind of thinking, oh, what's it going to be like? Is there going to be show off? Is there going to be this? Until you actually see it, you'll be amazed. It's such a great platform. It's going to be fantastic.
Yes, and some top, I mean, like just mentioning there, Rob Eaton, he's past British Hairdresser of the Year. You've got the Club Star, you've got the Fame Team, you've got like some top names on there that's coming to do it. You know, I've got like the Wahl British Barber of the Year, Killian Madison. We've got Jack Ludlow coming in from Dubai, Sam Campagna, me and you. There's going to be Paul Simmons from Mataki. There's going to be loads of different presenters on this education thing. And for me, if I were like watching this, it's like the only show I'm looking at a minute that's going to happen is Salon International. So I'm looking at this thinking, this is like going to keep me warm until then. I can't wait. I'm literally buzzing for it. It's going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward to it. And, you know, I hope everybody else is going to be the same. Get registered and get involved. And I'm sure Gaz at that point as well, when he comes on and does his education, he'll be able to tell you when you've got grey hair, you can put a shampoo through your hair that makes it like nice and violety or nice and fucking
I've never put any colour through my hair in the last 25 years, unlike you, who does it every week on the old whiskers. But, you know, it's just, I can't help looking this good. I don't have to do much to do it. I've had a haircut today.
You look stunning.
Tuesday I had a haircut because I've been working hard in colleges. We've been going round and doing a lot of education with level 3s and doing a lot of trainers. So we're doing a lot of CPD at the moment from RB training. So I had to get a quick haircut off Jake, and I cut his. So we're looking good at the minute. Anyway.
As you said that one, or you said with colleges there, thank you to College Kits Direct Capital for the last 3 weeks. Every Thursday, I've been doing seminars, one 10 while 12, one 2 while 4. We've had over 1,234 people tune into these seminars. And there's too many colleges to mention. There's over 13, 14 colleges to mention. But I have to say, you know, thank you to everybody that tuned in. Your comments were fantastic. It made me feel a little bit normal, even though I was in my academy on my own. But I could see all people's faces, guys, on the screen. It just feels a bit normal. Thank you.
Well, do you know, it's the first time I've done any training outside of the academy in probably 12 months. Last February, I was out teaching actually in front of a crowd. So yesterday I think it was 16 students, level 3 students. And that was the first time I've actually been out teaching, other than our apprentices, obviously, because we've been back since May the 8th, but in our own academy. But actually outside our academy, on the road, travelling, was the first time yesterday. I'm out again Monday, out again Thursday.
Feels good, doesn't it?
It's just, it did feel a bit awkward, mask, visor. It's almost like you're hiding into it, it's quite funny,
well,
really.
Yeah. I had the obviously I was in my academy on my own, so I just had like 2 cameras and monitors and stuff, and but it felt normal because I really presented. I got dressed up. It felt great. Everything around me was good, and I just feel normal. Even like your normal stuff that you've got to do now just feels good by getting out. So the positivity's spreading across the UK, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. On that note, let's just have a look at what's happening globally, hopefully, on the news on BarberEVO. So without further ado, please pass over to Andrew Brewster and David Foster at the BarberEVO news desk.
Thank you, Gary and Simon. It's Friday night, and this is the only pub in town where we're not sat outside getting absolutely soaked. Typical of the UK, the pub's open and
Hey guys, I'm sorry about that. I think we've lost our live feed from BarberEVO News. Sorry about that. We do apologise. I think we've got a few technical problems from Scotland. It is Scotland, guys. You've got to expect these little things. But can I just say welcome to all of our viewers that are watching at the moment. We've got Mark Walters, Ross Carter, Katrina Thompson, Andy Willis, Danny, Jonathan King. How are you, sir? All the way from Northern Ireland. I know we're having a torrid time over there, but hopefully it'll all sort itself out soon. Gary Jackson, Mary, hope you're having a great time getting back to work. I know you're on your 2nd week, is it now, or 3rd week, or just coming up to your 3rd week. I know you're very busy. I've tried to call you a couple of times, mate, but I know it's gone ridiculous. We're the other way now. I don't know if everybody is aware, but we just getting a little bit quieter in the barbershop. So that's why I was talking earlier. We've started doing our education. I've tried to get out of the salon at the moment, and we're doing some extra education. Simon, can you unmute, please, sir?
Sorry.
We just had a little technical problem with Scotland. They haven't come online at the moment, so we're sorry about that. But Mr. Ross Carter's watching, Mr. Jack Simmons, Pivot Point, you're welcome. Thank you very much for watching us on the show as usual. We'll try to get the Evo guys back on in between Kenny and Ahmed, because I don't know if we're going to fill a minute at the moment. So we will try and get that spot in. We'll try and get them back on live. But we're going to have to take a little rain check on it at the moment, because we're 8:15 and we're nearly coming to the point where we're going to introduce our first guest, Mr. Kenny Duncan.
Well, he lives in Philadelphia, doesn't he? And I've flown into Philadelphia a few times, connecting flights. You know, one of my all-time ambitions as a massive, massive Rocky fan, them films, the music, everything, I listen to it all the time. I could watch the films from the first one through to the last one. The Creed films, I watch them all the time. It's been a big part of my life. And I think even I'll admit it, even one of the films where Rocky had the character had contracted cancer, you know, I was like, in pictures, I was like, tears were rolling down my eyes. It's like, no, don't finish him off. Keep going. And one of my ambitions has always been to go up those library steps. So I can't wait to speak to Kenny and see if he has done the steps, Kaz. You should do it. You should do it.
I'm not joking. I've been, like you just said, that's one of the places you fly into from the UK into. We either fly, depending where we're going, we either fly into New York, one of the three New York airports, Philly, or if you're going, you know, straight over the other way to the West Coast, you go to somewhere else, or Atlanta, massive airport in Atlanta. So they're the main airports on this seaboard that we actually fly into. But in Philadelphia, I've been into town about 3 times, I think, something. The one time I haven't been, and I wish I was with Brian, because he'd had me film running up them steps. I've actually been to the bottom of them, but I didn't run them because I got nobody to film it for me. You know what I mean? So it was one of them. So I never did it. So, but we should do it. Me and you should have a day.
We should film it for Barbers Arms, and we should do it. I think we might be ready to go back live to BarberEVO. Let's try it again. Let's see if we can get over to Scotland to the BarberEVO news desk. Let's see what the guys have got to say.
Thank you, Gary and Simon. It's Friday night, and this is the only pub in town where we're not sat outside getting absolutely soaked. Typical of the UK, the pub's open and so do the heavens. I'm Andrew Brewster, and as ever, I'm joined by my partner in crime, David Foster. David, how are you?
Good, thanks, Andrew. Good. You're absolutely right. Keep it at the Barber's Arms. You're not going to get soaked, and you'll enjoy that pint a little bit more. So, yeah.
So, David, it has been a busy old week at Evo Towers. It's been an even busier week around the world. Why don't you hit us with some news?
Absolutely, yeah. Starting out in Boston, Massachusetts, back in February, there was a pretty serious incident. Steve Silva was cutting hair in the Boston Barber Company barbershop, just going about his usual routine, just finished up cutting the hair of a young chap that was in his chair. He slipped on what was a slippy floor. He had his scissors in his hands, and he actually managed to sort of partially impale himself. It was really quite a severe incident, quite scary. It resulted in Steve being rushed to hospital. There was open heart surgery. Steve was actually in intensive care for a couple of days. A lot of concern, but actually the news ends well with this one. We love a good news story. And the good news is that Steve is back at work starting this week, 3 days per week, I'm told. So good luck to Steve Silva, and yeah, hopefully he stays safe. And there's a lesson for anybody in the barbershop that's maybe going a little bit too quick. Even if you are being careful, you never know what might happen, so stay safe in the barbershop. Keeping things in Boston, a good friend of ours, Eric Zaitz, that owns the Bostonian Barbershop. He's got 2 of these, one near Fenway Park and one further south of Boston. Now, he was interested in barbering, or he got into barbering because of his grandfather, Don, who had Don's Barbershop in Hanson, Massachusetts. Don was the barber there, owned it for 68 years, right up until 2008. Unfortunately, Don passed away in 2009. But the great news is that after 13 years of trying, or 10 years of trying, I think at least, Eric has actually managed to get a hold of the keys for what was Don's barbershop. It will now become the third Bostonian barbershop, and Eric will now be behind the chair in the shop that his grandfather cut hair in for 68 years. So a really nice story there. Check out the shop on BarberEVO.com, and best of luck to all the team at Bostonian on the third shop opening. Bringing things slightly closer to home, keeping it tied in with Andrew's comments about the British weather and the shitty summertime weather that we usually experience. Some folk that are slightly more hardened, that don't worry too much about that, are the fantastic people that get involved with Barbers Ride every year. Fantastic cause, obviously. All monies raised go to Make-A-Wish, which is always a worthwhile cause. Andrew and I are always delighted to be able to support with the rest of the BarberEVO and SalonEVO team. You'll never find us on a motorbike, I don't think, but we'll certainly come along and enjoy the festivities, bring magazines, etc., and drink any beer that's on offer. Well, part of that, the people behind it, one in particular, obviously through Captain Fawcett, Richie, a good friend of his, Vincent Camp, who is an incredibly talented artist, painter of portraits, etc. Vincent's actually had one of his portraits feature on one of the editions, a previous edition of BarberEVO UK, which Andrew's magic hands and magic fingers are pointing to as we speak. Thanks, Trevor. Now, you can actually win the opportunity to have your portrait painted by Vincent. It's a great prize. He's so talented. Tickets are £10 per ticket, and there are 1,000 tickets available. All monies raised will go to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, so it's a great cause. Full details over on BarberEVO.com, so have a look, and good luck to the Barbers Ride team as well. We are certainly looking forward to participating, getting involved, and certainly we'll be at some of the events, so we'll see you there if you're going to attend. Final bit of news from me, very, very close to home. It is the BarberEVO UK and Ireland brand new edition, issue number 26, the May-June edition. Just out, just hot off the press. Andrew's pointed at it there. There you go, the magic of the BarberEVO News Desk television series. You can get your hands on a copy at BarberEVO.com. It's a great edition, really great features. One in particular that I think you'll really want to check out is around barbers who retrained, picked up different tools, and actually found any way to get by. In particular, Phil Jarman and Luca Chitti were very candid, really humble, great stories to tell, and I think you'll enjoy the read. So get over to BarberEVO.com, pick up a copy, or alternatively, Andrew.
So this week's competition, staying at Evo Towers, we have 5 copies of the latest edition of BarberEVO, and we have 5 copies of our sister publication, SalonEVO, just up here. Thank you, Trevor, to give away. And couldn't be easier to get involved. Now, the first 5 people to tell us, the 2 guys on the front cover of BarberEVO. Now, most of you should know one of them. I mean, David, I think he's got over 1 million followers on Instagram, so
I think so.
Hard to find.
Yeah.
So, first 5 people to name the 2 guys on the cover win the prize. Simple as that.
Brilliant. Well, it's a great read. It's another great edition. Kudos to everybody in the team that pulled it together. Get yourself into that competition, see if you can win it. If not, get onto BarberEVO.com, check it out, check out our news. We're always updating it every day, and make sure to enjoy the rest of this show. Stay safe. Make sure you take an umbrella to the beer gardens, and yeah, we'll catch you this time next week. Thanks a lot.
Good night.
Well, thank you to David and Andrew from BarberEVO. I love that bit, Gaz. I kind of think the news desk adds some real quality here into Barber's arms. I think the guys do a great job getting all the news from around the globe there. Some of it's very interesting as well. The guy who slipped over and not being very, very good with it. Before we fetch our next guest on, I'd just like to say a big happy 40th birthday to my best pal, Mr. Thomas Cassie. He's going to celebrate his 40th birthday on Monday. I think he's going to have a good weekend of celebrations, hopefully. I'm going to be part of those celebrations this weekend. And Be a nice weekend. The weather's not looking good though, Gary. We had a great afternoon this afternoon here in Yorkshire, but the rest of the week looks pretty grim.
I tell you what, it's been horrendous. We had a full-blown snowstorm. I was on my way to work like yesterday morning. Full-blown snowstorm. Drove back in bright sunshine. But just quickly before we go, before we get Kenny on, who's a global superstar and one of our guys that we've met all around the world. Just a few special people. We've got Gabba, all the way from Dubai, who we've taught and we've worked with the BBA. Thank you for watching, sir. He's a newbie to the Barbers Arms, I think. And also David Gray and Mr. Jonathan King. I know you've give all these people real ammunition now. I'm getting called Mrs. Doubtfire and all sorts here, so I'm going to give it you after the show, Sam. So I'll tell you anyway. So we've got Mr. Kenny Duncan, I think.
Mr. Kenny Duncan joining us. Just while Kenny's joining us, guys, as well, just want to tell you that we're really now not very far away, about 200, 300,000 views away from 7 million views in 53 episodes. And I know there's a lot of people who watch it every week, but still 150 to 200,000 people that tune into this show every single week. So thank you to everybody, all our loyal viewers, the watchers. Hopefully you've enjoyed everything that we've done at Barbers Arms in episode from 1 to 53. And we're nearly up to 7 million views, so which is absolutely amazing. Guys, you look at the views the last 2 weeks as well. 134 and 126,000 views, so it's been unbelievable. But joining us from Philadelphia, celebrity barber, international educator, the man himself, Mr. Kenny Duncan in Barbers Arms.
Man, listen, it's a pleasure to be here, man. Thank you for having me. This is my virtual way of getting across the pond without having to quarantine.
Kenny,
how's it going, bro?
I've been great, man. I know that things have been different here than it is across the pond. So we've been back at it for a while. I've gotten a chance to get accustomed to adjusting to the new rules and the new restrictions that we now have as our new normal temporary new normal. And I'm doing great with it, I'm doing great. Sometimes somebody said to me that you have to embrace change or you'll die. So in this stage of my career, I've embraced the changes. So I continue to evolve and grow so that I don't die.
Do you know what, Kenny? No truer words said. But can I just say, your beard is looking magnificent, sir, as usual.
Thank you.
You're very, very well-dressed top guy. You always show the best of what North America actually can offer. For our viewers out there who don't know you, and I'm sure there isn't many who don't know you, I'll give you that. Can you give us a couple of minutes or a bio of who you are, what you are, and what our viewers don't know about you?
Okay, so I'm most known for my relationship with the Anders Clipper Company, and to date, I'm listed as the North American Artistic Director. We have evolved. My career has evolved from me just being a local barber in West Philadelphia, evolving to being an Anders educator, to end up being an Anders lead educator, to now being a North American Artistic lead. And it's been a great pleasure to be a part of the Anders Company during the time that I've been a part of. And it's going to be some great things coming in the future. But I'm not only representing the Anders Company, I represent the Luster Escrow brand as a global ambassador. It's the reason why my beard is looking so nice and full and healthy, because of some men's grooming products. But then also owner of Main Attraction Unisex Salon, been in the salon ownership since 2003. So I had some time under my belt in salon ownership, primarily dealing with barbers, but I had my experience dealing with hairstylists as well. And I have my own line of clipper cutting combs called the K. Duncan Collection. I'm a big fan of clipperable comb for everything we do. Even though people like to use attachment combs, my personal perspective is, why use an attachment comb when you can attach your comb? So I've created a series of 9 different combs that can be found on KennyDuncan.com, and they're made out of carbon fiber and rubber and have various different tensions of teeth so that you can get different finishes within the quality of hair cutting that we're all going to do and they all we fell in love with. That's just a quick synopsis, but I think through the conversation you'll find out a little bit more.
If we can, Kenny, throughout the interview, obviously as Wahl's global artistic director, if we can if we can stop using the Andy's word quite a lot, that'd be much appreciated. I'm only joking.
So
bro.
listen,
bro,
no,
I'm only
I get
joking.
you.
I'm only joking.
No, I get it. No, I get it. I understand, because here's the thing.
It's
You know, growing up. No, I get it. But listen. I want to share something with you. You know, just growing up, I try to listen. I was raised by my mom primarily, and I tried to listen to everything she said. And the one thing she told me was that I shouldn't use 4-letter words.
There you go. Fantastic. What I love about it is, though, is that you are the educator for Andy's, and you've come up with a different way of using their clippers instead of using the combs. So that's fantastic. Well done. Kenny, you've watched Barbers Arms. We've massive followings here. We're nearly up to 7 million views over 53 episodes here through lockdown.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Congratulations.
To have you on, mate. I know you're a celebrity barber and a massive educator in the US. I've seen you sometimes when I've been in the US working your stuff. So we're going to go through a series of questions with you about you and your career. And Gaz has then got a little bit of a rant or rave that is going to pop up throughout, and then we're going to finish off with a little profile on Kenny Duncan himself. My first question to you, Kenny, is though, when did you realise that you wanted to be an educator and, you know, to share the knowledge? You realised at that point that your knowledge was so good that you wanted to spread that word, that whatever Kenny Duncan did was, you know, people are going to watch this and copy it and do it. When was that moment?
So it wasn't self-motivated. It was never about me trying to tell people what I'm doing. It was me discovering something that I didn't know. So I got to share this story as a prerequisite first. Number one, I didn't want to be a barber. I didn't look at barbering as a career that I wanted to grow into. It wasn't until I actually went to college and started cutting hair and realized that cutting hair wasn't, college wasn't for me. And when I realized that I was having so much fun cutting hair as something on the side. And when the Twin Towers got hit, I took a semester off from school. And during that semester off, I started to realize I was getting paid to be in places that no other career was going to take me. So from that standpoint, it was just off to the races. And that's when I actually fell in love with barbering. But I realized that the lack of professionalism that I seen in barbering prior to wasn't what I seen as I started to explore different aspects of this industry. The first time I got a chance to go to a trade show, I got a chance to see the industry from a different perspective. I was amongst of a large amount of the dedicated barbers that are passionate. And I was like, well, this is the community that I want to be a part of, not the people who were just taking it halfway as a hustle and they sold CDs, DVDs, hats, and thermals and everything else except for haircuts. Those are the people that I didn't want to duplicate. So once I started to see that there's a whole nother world, I only wanted to echo what I was seeing to the people who wasn't seeing it, to say, hey, listen, guys, there's a whole other world out there, and this is what I've learned. So I only became an educator for the purpose of trying to change the perspective of how I view barbering from my neighborhood and to be that beacon of light for those that didn't get a chance to see what I got a chance to solve.
Nice.
Do you know what, Kenny? I mean, I think that's a great attitude to have, but I think from a barbering point of view in the States or in North America generally, you know, it was barbers were very isolated, if you like. They were in the right. They were very communal. It's very communal with barbering, and I think to get out there and see the bigger picture and the greater world. Not many people have the opportunity to do that because they're there and actually making a living. They're grinding it out. They do it. They're enjoying the job. But I think a lot of the time it's actually getting out there and seeing what else is out there. I've met you in quite a few different places. You've been over into the UK. I've seen you at in Birmingham and different shows that we've done. You've actually judged for us for the BBA as well. We talk about you in Philadelphia. You're still based in Philadelphia, I guess. And
yes, I am.
We're talking about that. How do you think at the moment, and I don't want to labour the point or whatever, but how's COVID changed the barbering industry at the moment that you're in? I know you travel extensively, internationally, all over North America as well. How's that changed for you at the moment? Is it getting back to normal, or how's it actually changed your job role at the moment?
So it's two layers to it. It changed my ability to travel. It changed my ability to conduct business as usual. And it changed my perspective of how I view what we do. Prior to COVID coming into place, the barber industry was known for it being all about high value. The earning potential is based on how many people you can get in and out, but still offer quality within a reasonable amount of time. What I realized after COVID was that we are no longer considered to be an essential service, that we are considered to be a luxury. So from that standpoint, the first thing I did was change price points and change the amount of time that I'm associated with business based on the restrictions that was put in place. The second thing is I realized that we put less attention on doing things virtually and more attention on being in place physically, because most of us are visual learners, but we needed to actually spend more time focusing on how we can connect virtually. And I put more effort and attention in that space. So even most recently, the Andis has launched one of the few online virtual barber battles, and we just executed one last week, and it went great. Where we had 25 competitors from different places, all competing from their own comfortable places, doing a great job. And for me, it was an exciting place to still be able to connect with people without having to worry about the restrictions of COVID. That in itself was beautiful. So it's two aspects to it, where now things are getting back to normal. I'm out and about, flying again. I'm at events again, but I'm still doing a decent balance of in-person and virtual events, because you can't take away the ability to want to connect, but then this virtual piece gives us a chance to broaden our horizon with an even bigger net.
Yeah, I think that's something that I've seen, guys, as well in the US, is that we're flying between different states, and looking at the Wahl stuff that the guys are doing on the instructor. Kenny, I'm sure you know Kevin Nugent and Bermina.
Yes.
And Neves, the guys that work with us. And like we over here with the guys over here with different opposition clippers, we're all mates out when we're on stages, we've got to deal with the stuff, but off stage, we're all good mates together anyway. So that's really good. And it is happening a bit more in America, where in the UK, I think the shops are open, but there's not much education yet happening, and there's not much, you can't really fly from Scotland to London. There's still restrictions there. And for me, I don't know about you, we internationally, but my plans for international traveling aren't going to really start till 2022.
Wow.
Just because of, I think, the way that we are doing the vaccines here in the UK, other countries as well, obviously, like a minute close to you in North America, Canada, they're on lockdown still at the moment. There's parts of Europe that are close to going back into lockdown. So there's still restrictions there. So it's still quite difficult, isn't it, really, to plan your kind of movements in and around. My next question to you is, can you describe a typical day for Kenny Duncan? What's a typical day for Kenny Duncan?
I'm going to answer two questions with this answer. I'm going to answer two questions with this answer, because I think there's something else I needed to answer or reference to how our business changed to COVID that leads to what my day is like now. First part is I partner with a company called Live Chair Health, because I believe that barbers are essential for being pillars of the community and being conduits of information towards the masses of people. If anybody wants a message to get out to a large amount of people, right after TV and media, it's the barbershops and hair salons. I believe we touch more people than anybody else. And we have trusted relationships built with these individuals. So the biggest thing that has changed for me personally is focused on not just offering haircuts, but offering quality information and leadership when it comes to health. Because COVID has made everybody mindful about what we're doing to build our immune systems, I have to become a leader in this space of making sure that we're sharing information to encourage people to do better with how they're taking care of themselves. So we focused on the ability to to share this information on how we can focus on building our immune systems based on our diet, our mental health, and our exercise. We're actually doing health screenings within the barbershops, focusing on taking individuals' blood pressure, doing health screenings. And then right now, I'm actually training to become a health coach so that we can actually charge individuals health insurance for consultations that they have while in our chairs. So my day is looking like now where I'm actually studying to become a health coach, still taking care of VIP customers, balancing out working with the Anders team, as well as taking care of customers in my shop and managing my staff. But I have a business partner, I have my wife, and I have a virtual assistant helping me with a lot of different things because they have a lot of different moving parts and I can't do everything by myself. So I have to focus on prioritizing what's most important and then focusing on execution and delegation to get those things done.
Really, I mean, it says a lot about you as a person because of what you're doing anyway. But just quickly, as a business owner, I mean, from my point of view, through its change through COVID, I felt like that, we aren't in control almost of our own business. We're being told when to open, when to shut, and the thing is with us at the moment, we're 4 weeks in after lockdown, and we're still not actually in control of how we run our businesses at the moment. How have you dealt with that, especially in North America, with having staff as well? How many staff have you actually got in the shop at the moment?
Right now we have 10, but when this first started, I had 14. How do we deal with it? First thing is I felt disrespected. I felt disrespected because we were labeled as not essential, even though we have more training on virus prevention than other entities that were labeled as essential. We have longer training to protect the public than police officers and EMT medical assistants. They have 3 months worth of training dealing with protecting the public, or 6 months. We have no less than 9 months of training of protecting the public. So if anybody should be brought to the table to have conversations on how to mitigate the spread of COVID, we should, because we study virus prevention, sanitation and sterilization of implements and tools. This is something that's in our wheelhouse of not spreading diseases from one client to the next already. So when the conversation took place without this, I felt disrespected. So what we did was we banded together a consortium of barbershop owners to put pressure on the elected officials to respect our businesses and to respect our thoughts and respect us as thought leaders. Myself and individuals such as Tariq Jackson and 17 other business owners put pressure on elected officials to target our industry for relief and for us to actually help create some of the laws that were being done, because people are creating laws without our input. And we wasn't going to let that happen because we have the most influence on the amount of constituents that they pay attention to, and they fear that.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. Actually, what you just said there really resonate with what you just said there, mate. Proper, really good. Kenny, in your opinion, I've never asked this question, Gary, on any of our guests from across the pond, but I'm going to ask it to you, Kenny, because I think you'll answer us honestly. Who, in your opinion, is the main man, woman in the USA at the minute? Who's the hot property? Who's the rising star? Who's the one that everybody's looking up to in the US at the minute?
So when it comes to barbering, I think everything is just based off of who's fresh and who's coming up new. And I think some of the newer guys that people appreciate most, Vic Blends, and somebody people look up to a lot. And I can see that because of how young he is and how much energy he brings to the table. But I think that would be the person that stands out to me as at the very top. But then selfishly, I'm going to be honest with you. I view myself as an influencer, and some of the individuals who are some of the influential individuals that are hottest right now will go on record and tell you that they've learned a lot from me. So it's not to stroke my own ego. It's just a position.
Love it. Listen, dude. I go into a classroom sometimes, or I go into a seminar where I know that there's going to be some top people there, and I'll say, the first thing I'll say to them is, who's the best barber in here? And sometimes people can be conservative. I want that one person to say, me.
Gotcha.
It's me.
Gotcha.
I'm the fucking, listen, I'm the best presenter in the world. Simple as. So, you know.
So with that, let me expand. Let me expand on that a little bit more because I like. Let me expand it a little bit more. There's a self-confidence that I have, but there's one desire I don't have. I don't desire to be the most famous. I desire to be the most effective. So with that being said, I had to spend my time balancing out how I continue to develop and grow. And that's the reason why I'm spending time learning now, because I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon. I want to make sure that my roots continue to be deep and I had the most effective impact on our industry ever. When I'm done, I want to make it hard for people to follow.
I love it. Bro, I want you to come and work with Wahl. Anyway, Kenny, before I pass you on to Gaz for rant or rave, one last question that especially a UK audience would want to listen. My favourite films of all time is Rocky from Philadelphia.
Wow.
Dude, one question I want to ask you. Have you done the library steps? Have you run up the steps and gone to the top and give it the Rocky statue?
Yes, I had to, because I worked on a movie. I worked on Creed 1 and 2. And one of the scenes was that Michael B. Jordan had to go to the top. And I actually had to run up to the top and make sure that his hair was good for the scene, because I worked on hair and makeup in that space. So definitely did it for work and for pleasure, because it's something you got to do.
When Michael B. Jordan's over in the UK, one of my presenters and educators, 5, he cuts his hair while he's in the UK as well. So that it like resonates with me. But like, I'm really glad you've done the library steps and the Rocky thing. I love it. Can't wait to get to Philadelphia to see you. We'll do the steps together, me, you and Gaz.
We got to get you a cheesesteak as soon as you land.
Philly cheesesteak. Oh, I tell you what though, Gary, quickly. I was in the airport once. I've flown from Chicago into Philly. I had some Philly fries, and they're the best fries I've ever had in my entire life. It was like
Philly cheese.
Oh, it's the best. The best. Gaz, over to you.
I mean, how you asked him if he's done the steps. He's worked on the film, for God's sake. He's been there with Rocky. I mean,
Rocky.
Doesn't get any better than that, does he? Right. So we know we've worked with you. We've been on stage with you, Kenny. You're a great guy and everything. We're doing a bit of fun now. So we have a little piece on the show called Rant or Rave. We have 2 minutes of ranting or raving about a particular subject. So production, can you run the actual rant or rave subjects, please? So what we're going to do is we are going to give you a subject to rant or rave about, and you can do whatever you want. It's completely up to you. We don't know what it is. It's going to be tonight the Oscars, so you can rant or rave about the Oscars, Mr. Kenny Duncan of Philadelphia.
I'm going to rant. I'm going to rant and say that I desire for more representation and diversity. That's all I'll ask. And the reason why I say that is because my life has been a melting pot of many different cultures, and I have an appreciation for a large amount of cultures. And that's the reason why I appreciate travel and experiencing the world, because I like to understand other cultures and where people are coming from so that I can have an appreciation for those things. And I think that there's certain segments of the world that still have an older mentality of only being concerned about their own neighborhoods, when I feel as though the world is my playground. So I like to represent the world.
Love it. Kenny, we're going to finish off some quick fire questions for all our viewers around the world to get a little profile. But just quickly, just name some of the top celebrity clients that you've done.
Well, I worked with Michael B. Jordan. I'm in the house of Ben Simmons right now. Joel Embiid, Nas. I've toured 4 different tours with Lady Gaga. I did 1 tour with Adele. Worked with Justin Timberlake through a tour. I mean, it's so many I can think of. But working with Andre 3000 on a movie, that was one of my personal favorites, because he's one of my personal favorite rappers. There's been a lot of stuff I got a chance to experience. Just the fact that I'm on my 3rd passport because of cutting hair as a result of who I've been associated with is amazing.
I love it. My ambition for 2022 is get you converted over to us. Kenny Duncan, we're going to finish off. I'd love to meet you in person, mate, as well. I can't wait to go to fill into the US. It's obviously we're based over in Chicago, in Illinois, in Sterling, but I can't wait to get over to the US again. I can't wait to meet you in person. I'm going to finish off some quick fire questions, Kenny, to get a little profile on you, the celebrity barber, the celebrity educator, who tonight you've come over so well on this interview. What's your favorite food?
Right now, asparagus and a great piece of salmon.
Salmon.
With a combination of the two. I need a quality green, and asparagus is my go-to right now.
What's your favorite drink?
I want to say an old fashioned.
Oh, I love an old fashioned.
Yeah. I recently had one called a smoking old fashioned at this restaurant where they had a hickory piece of wood, and they light a candle and put the glass over top of it, smoked it up so that the glass can actually take like the hickory, pour the bourbon in, a little bit of orange. Oh man,
dude, it's got to be so right. The ice is got to be that. Everything's got to be right in an old fashioned, because if it's got that Cuba ice and it's not got the orange, it's just not right. So yeah, I love an old fashioned as well.
Yep.
What's your favorite destination? Where's your favorite destination?
Thus far, out of all the places I've been to, and I plan on going back to, is Dublin. I want to go to outside of Dublin, an area called Kildare, because they're known for their stallions. And I've gotten me and my family to riding horses most recently, and I want to actually get a chance to ride a bigger stallion, not just a regular horse. And the grass is so green it almost looks fake. So yeah, we want to go back there.
What's your favorite music?
Honestly, I like all types of music, but I like more of jazz with like hip hop jazz. No lyrics, just smooth, hip hop jazz. That's my favorite.
Okay. And if you could do all of the above, who would be your ideal dinner date? Who would you like to do all this with? And it could be past or present, somebody who's dead or somebody who's alive, or partners or whoever. Who would you like to have a night with?
So I've answered this question with 5 options. I've never answered it with 1, because now you just made it tough. Because right off the top,
one
you
answer
made it.
I want.
Yeah, you made it tough. Wow. Oh man. You know what? The younger version of myself.
Very good.
That's the first one on this one, guys, that we've ever had that. So here we go. Kenny Duncan, celebrity barber and international educator. It's been a pleasure, mate. Listen, mate, I've written loads of notes as you've been speaking. I've learned loads off you while I've been interviewing. I've interviewed loads and loads of thousands of people. I travel all over the world educating. And for me to say to you tonight, I've written notes of some of the stuff you've said.
Wow.
Just shows how fantastic you are as an individual. So congratulations on that, bro. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, man. What part of the UK are you in?
We're in Yorkshire, and Wahl, UK is based in Kent. Gary's based in Stoke-on-Trent with his purple hair.
What airport should I land in?
Kenny Duncan is having his favourite food would be asparagus and a nice piece of salmon mixed together. Is his favourite food right now in 2021. His favourite drink would be a very, very selective old-fashioned. It's got to be smoked. It's got to have the orange peel. It's got to have the perfect piece of rice in it. But that's his favourite drink. His favourite destination to do all of this would be in Dublin, in Ireland, and probably in Kildare as well. We've got the stallions running up and down, but that's where he wants to do his destination. His favourite music while he's doing all this would be jazz. And in doing all of this, asparagus, the Dublin, the jazz, old-fashioned, he'd be doing it all with a younger version of himself. Kenny Duncan, international educator, celebrity barber from Philadelphia, America. Thank you very much for being on Barber's Arms.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you guys.
Kenny, it's been an absolute pleasure, sir. Hopefully we'll see you over here soon on our stage as usual. We'll have another shave off, and that's another story for our guests anyway. I won't bring that up now because, we've talked about it before on different occasions, but it's an absolute pleasure, sir. It's lovely to see you again, and hopefully we'll have a pint in real. Lovely to see you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Continue to be great, guys.
Well done, Kenny. Good lad.
Thank you.
Gaz, what absolutely fantastic guest. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I loved it. I loved interviewing him.
Do you know what?
I'm a fan.
I've met him so many times in different places, all over North America especially, but he came over to the UK and he was working for Andy's at the time, but we had him as a judge on one of our stages, and he judged Britain's Best Barber for the BBA, and we had a shave off. He was saying, you know, he's a confident guy, isn't he? And he's like, I'm the best. He's a rocky character, actually. I'm the best. I can do everything. So the best shave, it was Britain's Best Shave. We put him against the Britain's Best Shave, and we were in a boxing ring, and it was quite bouncy, and he blamed it all on. But Rocky didn't come through this one time.
Well, I wasn't going to ask him where he's going to drink. Because all these Yanks, they don't want to have a drink midday, and so like. You know, I didn't want to ask him what he's doing. Gary, it's your 53rd cocktail coming right up right now. And we've got Ahmed, the ASTAR barber, waiting in the waiting lounge. So let's get on with your 53rd cocktail.
Right, and we're going to do this super quick. So we've got our shaker as usual. So we've got some ice in there. So straight into the shaker. And we're going to do a Cosmopolitan tonight. Now, Cosmopolitan, we've done a bit of a Cosmopolitan show because we've got a Cosmopolitan lineup. So we all the way from London and all the way from Philly as well. So we've got, and it's Cosmopolitan Day as well, cocktail day. So I thought this would be perfect. So we've got our ice in there. We've got our jiggers. So we're doing 30 ml or one shot of vodka. That goes straight in. We're having 30 ml of, or 1 part triple sec, which we're using here. Triple sec is good over ice as well. I absolutely love it. So there's triple sec. We've got 15 ml of lime juice, freshly squeezed. So there we go. That goes straight in. And we've got 45 ml. So this is of cranberry juice. So when we look at this, we have 2 full shots. So there we go, straight in. And then we're going to shake this up. We've got our coupe glass. Just take the lid off there. We're going to let that flow in. And with that, we've got our usual Angostura bitters. Now these are orange bitters. They aren't the usual bitters that we use. So a couple of dashes of that as well. So there we have it. Our Cosmopolitan Day cocktail. Cheers to everybody around the world.
In one.
To our guests. Good health.
Right, talking to guests. Our next guest is the main man for Premier League footballers' haircuts. Is the hairdresser barber to the England squad. I'm so looking forward to interviewing him, and some of the questions I want to ask him is, as a massive football fan, having a son who's a professional footballer, you know, I'm really wanting to get some insight in here to finding out what actually happens when he's cutting these people's hairs. His profile picture that we put on the poster was with Eden Hazard, and easy for
How
you
many
to say.
fights have you had?
No, it's quite hard to say actually. But I'm really looking forward to asking him some real questions about what happens when he's cutting these hairs, because I think a lot of barbers as well you know, you get odd footballers coming into your salon for an haircut, but to actually be the resident hairdresser for the England squad and to some of the top footballers, you know, JT at Chelsea, I think he started it all off with him. And I'm really looking forward to interviewing him. So he's just arriving into the car park right now. So please welcome Ahmed, who is the ASTAR barber. Ahmed, are you with us?
What's happening, guys? You all right?
Hey, bro. How's it going?
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, very well. How are you?
All good, all good. Obviously happy to be back open, you know, doing what we love.
Hey, listen, bro, we've got lots of questions that's coming in from all our viewers around the world. You're the one that cuts all these famous footballers' hairs. So tonight we're going to get a little bit of insight into what happens when you're cutting their hair, some of your top clients that you do, some of the people who you cut, who's got the biggest egos. So we're going to really put you through the mill here tonight and ask you some questions. But it's great to have you on, mate. I know you're doing fantastic. You've got your ASTAR products that's out there as well through Chris & Sons in London.
Yeah.
So welcome to Barbers Arms, Gary.
Welcome, sir. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on. So many of our staff and so many of the people that follow us are excited about having you on. I've got a Mr. Jack Howarth who works for me. He absolutely loves your work, loves you full stop. And I'm like, you know,
thank you.
When we have some guys on, he's like, oh, yeah. Are you watching it tonight? I said, we've got ASTAR Barber on tonight. We've got Ahmed on. He's like, you're having a laugh. You've got to get me. I said, I'm meeting him. It's virtual. We're on Zoom. He says, so you've got a fantastic following, over 400,000 followers. Where did it all start? Where did it all start for Ahmed then? Where did you start? Where did you do your training? Where did it all start for you?
So for me, I'm a self-taught barber. So it all started with me getting a haircut, really. I used to go to the barber shop, you know, twice a week sometimes. And I was never satisfied with my hair. I tried all different barbers. So for me, I started, obviously I took matter into my own hand, literally, bought a clipper and just started, you know, cutting my own hair at the beginning. Then neighbors, brothers, you know, messed up a lot of people's hair along the way. So I just fell in love with it because I've got a diploma in art. So my background is art. That's what I like. I like drawing, you know. So I thought barbering is just a different way of applying that art side that I've got. So yeah, so that's really where it all started. And obviously we worked in a barber shop, gained a customer base, and opened up ASTAR Barbers in 2013.
Who was the first professional footballers there that you cut?
So the first professional footballer is it was John Terry, the big name. But I used to cut a lot of the Chelsea youngsters, you know, under 21s or under 18s. And it sort of started from there. That gave me sort of the way to the footballers. And one day I just had a phone call from John Terry. At the time, he was the club captain, and he said, "Geez, I've heard a lot of good things about you. I need you to come to the training ground every Thursday." So I was doing that for 3 years. I was a Chelsea barber for 3 years, and that got me through the door, you know, of cutting, you know, athletes. And then, you know, they put you on social media, you share it, and it just goes around.
You know, looking at it like, because I do the same, because my son's a footballer, so I've cut a lot of young kids' hairs now who have made it into like big time. So, whose hairs did you cut that were not known that now big stars when you were cutting hairs at 21 or 18, 19-year-olds that have made it in big time?
So I used to cut, well, I still cut Ruben Loftus-Cheek. He plays for Fulham. He's done well. Jamal Blackman, he's a keeper. Dom Solanke, he plays at Bournemouth. Jeremy Bogner, he plays in Spain, I believe. So it's nice to see all the sort of youngsters that are sort of grown up with cutting their hair, are playing at high standard. But yeah, regarding the big time names, it was more really social media, you know, displaying your work. You're doing that, footballer, they see that, and sort of they want in action.
Do
You still do. Go on, guys.
Do you know what? I mean, you know, you do all these footballers, you know, you do it, you fly, you've flown all over the world, you've cut for the England team, you know, all these professional footballs. You've got a salon as well. You're based in Chessington.
Yeah.
So from a point of view of all our young followers out there, all our barbers, our young barbers who want to aspire to do what you do, how much of the, you know, the celebrity work pays the bills, and how much of the barbershop pays the bills?
For me personally, I've sort of at the beginning is all about promoting. So you've got to promote your brand. Then after that, when you're established, you can't beat the barbershop money, you know, because I've got 7 staff, 6 days a week. We're flat out. We're not cheap. So we're premium price, and you can't beat that income. But don't get me wrong, you know, flying to Madrid, cutting Eden Hazard and all of that, that's great money. But yeah, at the beginning, you got to promote yourself, brand yourself, and then after that, the money will come in through the doors.
I think that's a big thing, Gaz, with anybody that does any celebrities airs, you know, like you just said, is that it's nice, it's cream on the cake, innit? It's like the topping on it when you can do that. I want to ask you a real personal question now. Try and answer it as honest as you can. Name me the 5 top professional footballers in order of like quality. Oh, you cut their hair. So, you know, like some of the biggest names that you cut. Give me the top 5 that you do.
So the top 5 that I do, what the biggest super? So
yeah, biggest names:
Paul Pogba, Eden Hazard, Jesse Lingard, Benjamin Mendy, and I don't want to really disrespect anyone. 5. Who else? I would say John Terry's a big name. You know, he's a massive name. You know, he was the England captain, Chelsea captain, legend in the game.
Legend.
So yeah, that'll be my that's my 5 top names. Mbappe. Sorry, Mbappe. You can't. He's probably one of the best young players out there now. Mbappe.
Does he fly over from France to you, or do you go to him? Or
so
what happened to that?
No, so basically Mbappe. I had the pleasure to go in with the French team to the World Cup when they won it, and I was flying to Russia every week. So that's how I was cutting him. But at the moment, I don't do him as much. I haven't done him in a year or so. But I believe he's got his barber in France. But yeah, that's one of the biggest names I have cut.
Do you know what I mean? Talking about, you know, you're flying all over the place, and we at the time, did you cut Mourinho's hair as well or not?
Yeah. So this is a great story. I cut Mourinho on the day he got sacked, and he normally has a gentleman haircut, you know, short back and side, scissors on top. So that's what I normally do for him. But on that day, he come in and he said, "Take it all off." And I thought, something's wrong here. And I was in the training ground. I didn't hear the news. And then when I finished his haircut, he got sacked. I was like, well, that explained it. He didn't want to get recognised.
Classic.
Well, Ahmed, the next question is, which top footballer across the world would you like to cut that you've not cut?
For me, it has to be Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi. Well, both, hopefully, one day. Because more Cristiano, because he's an iconic in his fashion. You know, he looks after himself. I believe he's got, you know, so many businesses, like health and care businesses. And he's just, mate, he's the most followed footballer on planet Earth. Well, celebrity on planet Earth, you know. To get him just to style his hair will be obviously a pleasure of mine.
Do you know what? I've watched a couple of your videos, or a few of your videos. Obviously, we do some research on our guests. This show isn't just thrown together. You know, when you did the Pepsi advert, I mean, did you meet some of the guys there as well? Because there was loads and loads of celebrities and footballers in that video. Is he?
Yeah, no. So
I get asked.
So no, I didn't meet any.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, say that again.
No, I was just going to say, I get asked by young barbers, young aspiring barbers, and they're like, you know, ASTAR Barber, he's in the Pepsi advert and everything. You know, how do I do that? And it's you know, we really, really like to hear and see who you've met and how you get to that point as well. So, but I mean, what a great advert for your brand.
Oh, of course. So on the Pepsi advert, I was just with Pogba shooting on that day. I didn't get to meet Messi, Sterling, Salah, because obviously they had different times and different locations. But I mean, that was crazy, you know, to be on a Pepsi advert. You know, I've grown up watching Pepsi adverts with Beckham, you know, Ronaldinho and all that, and I'm here just in it. Obviously, it was a bit of a downer on that advert, because obviously when it was meant to come out on TV, coronavirus hit, so it sort of took the edge away, because I would like to see myself, you know, on TV just before the Champions League final, but obviously it got cancelled. But it's still great, you know, to be in a flipping Pepsi advert. It's crazy, something to really, you know, when I get old, really look back at and feel proud of it.
Well, I'm sure some of the photographs you've got with some of the top players that you've cut will be able to, you'll always be able to look back at some of those and show your kids, your grandkids, some of the people's hair that you've cut over the years. I've got a couple of last questions for you. First of all, what's your favourite Wahl product?
He slipped that in there. My favourite, it has to be the Magic Clipper.
Do you know what? That clipper's only been launched probably 5 years, but now it's the global leader in the UK, everywhere around the globe. It's the biggest selling clipper across the globe. It used to be Super Taper, then Senior, but the Magic Clip cordless is the biggest selling clipper globally. So, you know, it's good that you say that.
So Magic, the thing is with Super Taper, and there was another one. I felt they were too heavy. With Magic Clipper, you got the power, and it's very easy to hold and use, you know. So, and yeah, that is my favorite.
Especially in your game as well, because a lot of the cuts that you do, a lot of fading work, so the Magic Clip would really work.
Yeah.
This question, though, you're gonna really be honest with this next question, right? Who's the biggest ego that you've cut? Who's the most difficult customer, or the biggest, like, he's looking at his hair all the time, he's touching it, he's like awkward. Who's got the biggest ego?
Biggest ego in what? In his hair or in general?
Just like, well, just in general, who's the biggest ego that you cut?
So biggest ego for me, in a good way, it has to be, you know, Paul Pogba, because he loves his hair. He loves his hair. He loves different styles, and he loves to be creative with his hair. That's what I really love working with him, because literally it's not just sit down and cut my hair, we have to discuss it a day before. You know, he sends me pictures. This is how I want it. Obviously, we freestyle it so it's just unique to him. But I honestly love doing his hair because my art background comes out, because I'm not just cutting, I'm bleaching, coloring, doing patterns. And it's just, yeah, it's really good. It's really good doing his hair. I enjoy it.
Do you know what? Do you know what though, Ahmed? They are the best customers though, aren't they? If they talk to you the day before, they're bringing pictures, they're telling you what you want, you know,
exactly.
It's easy to do because you can just manage their expectations then, can't you? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, you could be prepared.
Yeah. So when a customer comes down and sits down and says, just cut it, how do you want it, sir? Just take a bit off. You know, they're the worst customers in the world.
Oh, yeah. And then if you do take a bit off, a little bit more. Oh.
Okay.
But I tell you what, Ahmed, you know, people might tonight, they're seeing you, and obviously a lot of people wanted to hear what you were like. They see your work, and there's a little bit of a like enigma about who is this guy. He does all these top people's hairs, but obviously listening to you tonight, mate, no wonder why you are where you are, because you're just so like down to earth, humble. You've got your training done, and you obviously got such an amazing talent. Some of your haircuts that people see on TV is replicated across barbershops across the world, because, you know, people watch these Premier League footballers' hairs that you've cut, and they will go into salons and say, cut me hair like his. And you've done that.
Yeah, thank you. I do appreciate that. Yeah, just got to keep,
Amazing.
you know, keep working hard. Yeah, that's it.
I mean, just quickly before, I mean, we've got a couple of minutes, but
yeah,
from your point of view, you've how old are you now?
I'm 30, unfortunately. So I've hit the 30 stage now, and I feel very down about it.
We're maturing. It's all good. So from your point of view, you know, from you've got the shop in Chessington. You know, you've got 6-7 barbers, something like that, working for you. What are the plans for you in the future? But also, what is there anything that you would have changed? Is there anything in your path, your career path, that you would have changed? You know, I mean, there's a lot of people out there at the moment watching, all our viewers, that would say, well, you wouldn't change anything. You know, he's got the perfect life. But what would you, from your point of view, what would you change, and where's your path going? Where are you going in your life? So,
changing, honestly, I know it's typical. I wouldn't change a thing, because is a roller coaster, and you wanna, anything that you make a mistake or whatever, you learn from it. I can't think off the top of my head what I would change, but yeah, I wouldn't change a thing. And regarding where I want to go, is obviously I want to open up a shop in Dubai, hopefully soon. That's in the pipeline. I want to obviously get a couple more shops out globally. Also, we've got, you know, the thing is, I don't know if you don't know, but ASTAR's is a brand. So we got ASTAR coffee, we've got ASTAR tattoos, we've got ASTAR style. So we're really trying to branch out into different things, and you know, just using the ASTAR name, and you know, just evolving. And I couldn't really tell you what I want to sort of achieve. Every year I'm hungry for more, or I want to do something there and there. But ASTAR style for me, we're going to try and really push it, and, you know, make a great product, you know, what that could work and blow.
Hey, listen, mate, I think with what you've done so far, I think your talent speaks volumes, but also as well your drive. You know, a lot of barbers who do what you do, kind of like, I always look at them as keyboard warriors that really brag about it and like really shout about it. But what you do is you just do it because that's just what you do. They come to you. You don't go to them.
Yeah.
You know, you obviously start that way. But listen, mate, you've done amazing. I think you're an amazing interviewing tonight. It's just like really good to watch what you've said tonight. And I think, you know, everybody who's watching tonight can realise that, you know, if you're going to do all these famous footballers' airs, you want to watch what this guy does because he's just so humble. He's talented, but he's also got his feet on the ground. And I really like what I've heard tonight. We're going to finish off, Ahmed, with some quick fire questions for our audience as well tonight, just to get a little insight into the top barber who does all these Premier League footballers' airs globally and internationally. Let's find out a little bit about what Ahmed likes. What's your favourite food?
Favorite food? Chinese.
What's your favourite drink?
Sparkling water, I will squish. I love that. You know, you.
You know, a lot of football clubs as well, especially at junior level, when they're coming through the academy system, they give them sparkling water because it fills them up. Just when I go through my diet situation, I have sparkling water because it fills me up quite a lot. So, what's your favourite destination? Where
you
say that again, sorry.
You start trying that then, Simon.
Thank you, Gary. You fucking purple hair. What's your favourite destination?
Dubai.
Same here. I love it.
I love it.
It's my favourite destination of all time. Me and Gaz went out to Dubai once. Well, I've been there twice with you, Gary, actually, in Dubai.
I've been a lot of times.
We'll not go through that tonight. Ahmed, what's your favourite music?
Music, hip hop, R&B.
Cool. And who would be your ideal dinner date? Who would you like to have? You're obviously in a lot of company a lot when you're cutting people's hair. That a lot of barbers and hairdressers out there would love to just like have it like that contact that you have. But
yeah,
ultimately, who would be your ideal dinner date?
My wife.
Funny. You've just gone down.
I had to say it. I had to say it. She's looking at me.
Here we have Ahmed, ASTAR barber. He's got his own product range. He's amazing. The people who he's cuts, the people that some of the top footballers across the globe. This guy's done really well. I think this what shows you as well what you can do when you've got a talent and when you've got a drive and when you really research what you've got to do, and also looking at your social media side of things. This is what you can do, and this is what this young man has achieved even at 30. I still call you young man in the company of Gary anyway. Ahmed's having his favourite food, which is Chinese. He's having his favourite drink, which is sparkling water. Funny. And he's doing all this in Dubai. He might be in the Mina Salam, or he might be in the Burj Al Arab. He might be in one of these top hotels. Putting one of these top footballers who's paying for all his expenses. His favourite music that it would be in the background would be hip hop, R&B, and he'd been doing all this with his beautiful wife, Ahmed from ASTAR Barbers. You are a proper star, mate. Congratulations for everything you've done with your career so far. We'll look forward to keep watching your work. I can't wait to meet you in person. I want to come out to your salon and see you and make sure we shower you some wall gifts. Congratulations, mate. Welcome to Barbers'
100%. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. Cheers, guys.
Ahmed, it's been a pleasure, mate. A pleasure to actually meet you. My staff and all the guys who actually follow you won't believe it. They'll be absolutely made up anyway.
Thank you.
Please share the Barbers' Arms for us. It'll be an absolute pleasure.
I will do.
But thank you as well, and we will definitely be down. And we'll do a Barbers' Arms live right from your cellar.
Let's do it. Take care, guys. See you later.
Ahmed,
bye-bye.
Good luck, bro. You know what, guys? I have to say tonight, it's episode 53. I've got to say, I'm in awe tonight of both guests. I am. Really in awe of both guests. I thought they were both terrific tonight. Really good.
Do you know what? There's, I mean, you know, we've got a great company at the moment. But when I ask all the young guys who are into social media, and anybody we go into for colleges, all the apprenticeships, we teach for a lot of other companies as well. And Ahmed, he comes up, ASTAR Barbers comes up every single time. And I'm like, you know, to be fair, up until about probably 12 months ago, I wouldn't have known ASTAR Barbering. You know, 12 months ago, I got introduced. Guys were telling me, you got to watch this, you got to watch this, you got to watch this. I saw him do a video with Eden Hazard and a couple of other guys, you know, because he actually plays football with them as well. They're in the backyard, they're doing the crossbar challenge, they're doing all this. I mean, he is absolutely living the dream, isn't he? You know what I mean? So,
unbelievable. But I think when people have like kind of like, who is he? Tonight we fetched it to you. That is who he is. He's a nice kid. He's 30-year-old. He's a barber. He's taught self. He's done well on Instagram. He researches his work. He's obviously very, very talented. He's very artistic, you know, and that just shows that anybody can do it. You know, he's not gone through like multiples of training. He's self-taught. He's got a natural talent. Well done, Ahmed. You know, ASTAR Barber, proper good. Kenny Duncan, fantastic presenter. You know, he came over so well tonight. I'm so pleased that both these guys have been on the show tonight. You know, 53 episodes in, we're fetching you some of the top people around the globe. I'm in awe tonight. I'm a fan tonight. I watched this back tonight because I won't, you know, I just think that both guys have been fantastic, absolutely superb. I'll finish off by saying, look, there's been a few things that's happened this week. One of the big things that people's been saying is no shows. People have got used to not having their hair cut every 3 weeks. So when you open up on 12, people have been booking back in 3 weeks, and then no shows. You've got to make sure you speak to your clients and say to them, when you're booking in, you're definitely going to hit this date. I think there's been a lot of we've had a lull everywhere from what people are saying to us. So you've got to make sure you've got to make sure you speak to your clients and make sure they're going to come back as well. Just communicate. The easiest thing in the world is to speak to people. Don't just guess or wait or, you know, just anticipate it. You've got to make sure you speak to people. So I know that that's been a bit of an issue this week with people on no shows. It's been a bit quieter everywhere, but we are back. The beer gardens are open. It's going to be lovely weather tomorrow. We've got rain everywhere across the country. And it looks like it's going to rain everywhere else. But listen, we're back open. We've got a stride back into it, and you know, things can only look better. 34 million people have been vaccinated. 15 million people have had the second vaccination. You know, we're in a real strong position here in the UK. So let's keep positive. 2021 is going to be a good year, and we're going to move forward. So have a great weekend, guys. Hope you all earn a few quid tomorrow. And I'll pass you over to Gary, but we'll see you all next week for another fantastic show on BarberEVO.
Thank you, Mr. Simon Shaw. Well, all I can say is, from salon owners and, you know, people who are self-employed and barbers generally, just got to keep on it, mate. The main thing is, you know, we said about no shows and different things. People at the moment now, we've got something to go out for, hopefully in 2 weeks' time. On the 17th, people are going to start turning up for haircuts the week before. From our point of view, just do what we do. Stay safe. Keep doing everything that we should do. Keep the masks on, keep the visors on. I know we've had a little bit of bad press at the moment. We should be wearing masks. We should be wearing visors. Come on, guys. let's just see it to the end. We're probably 2 weeks away, at the very most 6 weeks. Love you all. 2 great guests tonight. Never thought I'd interview ASTAR. Fantastic guy. Kenny Duncan, met him a lot of times. If you ever need a role model in your life, he's there.
Yeah.
Mr. Simon Shaw, I love you, and we'll see you next week.
Have a nice weekend, everybody. We'll see you all next week on episode 54 on Barbers Arms. Have a great weekend, everybody. Good night.